You want to improve at chess and you have one big issue why you are stuck. And it is that you have been listening to the wrong chess teachers, but now you have me. And if you don't trust me, in the previous video, I already showed you that everyone just tells you to play positional and start playing more positional. Don't make weaknesses and don't play passive moves. But that's such vague advice, and they will only tell you the useful things if you pay for a book or something. I will just give you everything like this. And what they mean with don't play passive moves is that move the pieces as forwards as possible where they cannot get attacked, and the actual topic of previous video was that you don't create weaknesses. I went into a game in a tournament that looked a lot like this game, and my opponent played bishop to b5, and after some normal development, took my knight, I took back, and played something like b4 after a while to get a lot of control on the c5 square, and then my c6 pawn was just dead, and it couldn't move at all, which was very, very bad. And then I practically drew a game I should have tried to win for absolutely no reason. So this is a lot of pressure. I think maybe trade off. If I do this, you can jump in. Maybe I play this, but then the knight jumps in. I attack the queen. You take a knight with an attack on the queen. So I take a queen. You take a queen. I take a knight, and it's an equal trade. But why is my structure so bad? I will have double isolated pawns. So trade the bishop. You go for the pressure, probably. Um, or just defend and unpin so that after this I can just take. And if you even take, I can take with the knight and I'm up a piece. So I think queen to d7 is the point here. And after takes, I can just take. And your queen is undefended. So if you take the knight, I can just take your queen. So knight to e5 now is a blunder. Yeah, that's a valid move, but let's just kick the bishop, take. I think queen takes. Because otherwise this is a threat, but then I can take the queen. So I think this bishop take, queen take, and after queen take, pawn take, knight gets in. I just already trade off the weakness, and that's exactly what previous video it was about. And then you can take my bishop, I will take back, and yeah. I think that's my only line. I could also do this, by the way, so that if knight lands, I cannot take, but I can maybe move the queen. And if take, no, I think I have to kick. If take and I take, then knight jumps in as a threat on the queen and the pawn. So I have to take with the queen, and after take, knight jumps in. I will trade off the pawn, which is exactly what I showed you in the previous video. And you can have my bishop. I wanted to give it away anyway, so it's not that big of a deal. You can jump in on c6, but I don't see why, I believe. And I'm threatening to take the d4 pawn, by the way, because taking the d4 pawn will... wow, you don't take. So I can take, or I can just move back. And if you do this, I can just go back again. I don't really see his plan. You could have taken the bishop anyway. Oh, you go back. So my opening wasn't excellent, but it was fine. After e4 and c6, we go into a exchange Caro-Kann, and my opponent played his knight to f3. I should have just developed my knight, which I will do, but not now. And after a move like c3, I should have played my bishop to f5. Instead, it looks like I developed my bishop to g4, which does make a difference. And now if he just develops the bishop and I develop the knight, we get into a position like this. It's not exactly the same. And here my opponent plays a4 and queen to and bishop to b5. I only included the line with queen to b3. Here we can just slide the queen. I did slide my queen up to d7 in the game, which could have been hit with knight to e5, which you will see. Let's say he just develops. If I play e6, it looks quite similar, but the plan here is just to make this structure, develop the bishop, and don't allow any attack, and after castles, start a minority attack. We don't get into this, but we get into quite a chaotic position, which will not favor me. So the opening wasn't the best. Let's say in this position, our bishop plays his knight out. This is a quite positional mistake. Here we do play the bishop to g4, so that's a bit why I did confuse the lines. After bishop to e2, we just castle, and it looks like a very similar position. Um, except the knight is here instead of on d2 and the pawn on c3. And after this, we can just go back. Usually we take, except if there is a bishop on b5 or a knight on c3. That's usually the plan. So here we don't have to take because there is a knight on c3. After he pins, we can just unpin. If he does whatever that does, we can just castle. He develops, we kick the bishop, develop our pieces. And if he moves the knight, we have takes, 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 move the knight back. He can trade this off. This was a hanging pawn, which he has to defend. And after queen to g5, this is rather annoying because after take and take back, we are just in awesome position. Uh, Everything is practically under attack. So the engine says you can't really take, and this is the position we will get. Where after take and take, the pawn is hanging, this is under attack. We can easily develop the rook. And if you don't know the plan, after we win the e2 pawn, we have a passed d pawn, and that's what we will use. Let's add a line though, where let's say he takes, we take back. Now this pawn is only defended with the knight, and this is also attacked. So let's say you prepare the development of the rook. We can attack the knight, defend it like this, and then slide the rook over. And we get into a position like this where we are slightly better because we have a weakness to fight against, and you can't really defend it with a pawn because of our g pawn. So our g pawn looks quite weak, but it's really an asset. And let's say you think we trade pawns, we can take, take, just move back, and let's say take and take. Now we have this majority in the center, and that's exactly what we will use to win. Best move is to trade rooks, which I don't really understand, and then we will just start a majority attack on the king side and use this 2-on-1 to make a passed pawn, push the passed pawn, and just win like that. So that's a bit of the opening analysis inside of my opening course. Didn't play the best of openings, but I could show you the IDs, what I had to do. If you learned anything, subscribe, and let's go back. Okay, that doesn't really pose a threat. Do I go here to trade bishops? I don't think so. So let's just move the bishop. castle my king and play a normal game. I have the bishop there now, which is a small advantage, and I am trying to threaten takes. So if I do this, take, knight, take, I don't think I'm a fan of. So let's preserve my bishop. If this, maybe I can even just go here with an attack on the rook, which will have to develop, and then I can take and create a weakness. So I always have this tempo move if I need it, which is very valuable. If you go into the center though, yeah, maybe that's a bit more annoying. So now take is take. Um, do I do this? Or do I go in myself? That looks good. So I have the option of playing something passive and developing a piece, but I think this has a threat. And I will always prioritize making a threat and improving my position at the same time. That's something that a lot of beginners struggle with because they are told to not play hope chess, but they're told to make threats. And there is a very, very fine line between playing hope chess and just praying for your opponent to mess up and improving your position while giving your opponent the option of messing up. I think I just take the knight. Um, take, and you cannot take because of take. So take, bishop, take, and then I can take, and you cannot take because of take. I think that was a mistake. And if you attack my bishop, I can just slide. Or even take another piece. I have a threat again. I forgot I had a threat. So you have this, but I'm threatening to just win a rook. So you cannot do that. And after it takes, I might even be able to take with the pawn, opening up a new threat. And that's the power of threats. So I am constantly posing threats, and it's not hope chess. I'm not hoping that my opponent messes up, but I'm improving my position while my opponent has the option of messing up, but they don't have to mess up. If they don't mess up, I still improve my position. And that's the very fine line between hope chess and um, playing for threat. So now I have this threat and I have this threat. So let's take, if you do this, I can just attack your rook, which will have to move, and then I can take and I'll be up a pawn. So I have the threat again of taking an extra pawn with a threat. So if you push your plan, it will fail. So you have to respond to me, and both responses are bad. Yeah, so you take with this. I could just spin the knight, hoping that he takes. And the difference between hope chess and just playing for threats is that does this improve my position? Well, he has two responses which are perfectly valid, so I don't like it. I think moving my rook to a more active square. And that's the difference. This is hope chess. You are hoping that your opponent doesn't see that this is pinned and they will just blunder the bishop, but that doesn't improve your position. Putting a rook on b8 improves your position and it has a threat. So now our opponent had to respond to something that they didn't want to respond to. That is a very, very big difference. So I can just improve my other rook, I think. Does that actually improve my position? I'm not sure. Maybe attacking the pawn or trading the bishops is better. Or does this improve my position? I'm not sure. Here, you just make a random move. Does that improve my position? I'm not sure. And what is the threat of this? Um, After something like this, I don't really see my threat. Maybe to pin so that you have to push, and then I can put the rook here, bishop there. So I don't know. Let's just improve my position again. I don't really see my threat, but at least I'm improving my position, which is number one priority. So in this position, right, material is equal, but I have a bishop pair and a better pawn structure. My opponent has three pawn islands, and one of it is an isolated pawn. I have two pawn islands, and yes, one of it is an isolated pawn, but it's not that weak compared to the other um options. So now you're preparing defending this, so I don't know, let's just improve my position again. I don't see my threat though, but it's improving my position and I'm aligning the king and the rook and stuff. So it has to be good somehow at some point in time. So I can attack the pawn, after which I can attack the pawn. And how do I attack the pawn more? I'm not sure. So yeah, that is valid probably, but it doesn't really do much for you. So I can attack this, attack it again, so I can take it. Or I can just go for a bishop trade. You cannot stop it. So after take and take, I'm threatening to win two pawns. And I don't see how you not trade. And if I do this and you defend it, I can take. If rook take, I can take the rook, you take back. And I can infiltrate. You will have to push the pawn, and I can attack this, and that's a free pawn. Or you push, and I can just take everything, and then take. So I think trading the bishops here is fine. Probably this is your only response, and I might have a tactic somewhere of just moving. No, because if I ever take, you take while defending your rook. That's annoying. Um, yeah, so probably rook here. I will take. I think you're forced to take with the rook. Maybe not. Maybe trading the bishops was not the vibe. But I think it is. Rook here, take. If pawn takes, I attack this pawn. You will have to push it. I attack this one again. But it's quite pinned to the knight, which is pinned to the king. So that should be just a free pawn. Probably a free rook trade. Yeah, and if you defend this, I can just attack this one again. So I think I'm winning a pawn now. Okay, so I can take this. You can move the knight, and I still have a very good position and a passed pawn. And if you know anything about the lessons I teach you about take, and take, is that better? I think my bishop is stronger than your knight, so if here though, I didn't think about that at all. I mean, I can save my bishop, push the pawn, make everything very solid. So if you know anything about me, I am a bit frustrated with chess teachers not telling you a lot of very, very important things, like how to win a game of chess. And the only way of winning a game of chess is either checkmating your opponent or convincing your opponent that you will checkmate him and he just resigns. Um, I don't know what that tries. You're trying to go here and then your own knight blocks your rook. And even if you go here, I can fork you probably. Oh, it tries to go here. Fair, 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 fair. So I think I have to move the bishop right now. Um, yeah, because you were trying to just... Fair enough. So if you now do this, I can again just defend it. I believe. And if you do this, I can just allow you in, but I don't want to allow you in. Okay, so let's now push the pawn. Do you have a threat? Knight to d2. Knight to d2, I can just take, and I don't even see another legal move. Oh, knight to e5, but you're not threatening anything. Maybe this is a threat, but I don't think so. Yeah, you can go there, but this is your only legal move, so I don't think I mind. I mean, your only legal move that doesn't just blunder a piece. Maybe this is your try, but I can even just do this, and I'm blunting your knight, first of all, and I'm defending the pawn, so... My opponent is trying to make threads, but it's not really working out. Maybe this? But I mean, I cannot lie, I'm not convinced. This, I can just stop you. Push the pawn, put the rook here, do this, you'll have to stop it. This is GG. Yeah, I think his counterplay is way too slow. I can put a rook here. Oh, I didn't think about that. So take, which defends my bishop. You will have to take, and I can take. And my bishop is... Okay, so take, rook take, and you cannot take because of take. What if I take? Knight take, rook take. If rook here, I can... Yeah, I mean, I can just take with the bishop. This is something I had to consider. Yeah, I really had to consider that. Shoot. Um, yeah, I really had to consider that. Wait, that has to be bad. Can I just do this? And all of your pressure and complications are just gone. I also have this, but that's quite complicated because you can take and stuff. So I think I just pose, or whatever, a rook trade, and you cannot take it, so I'm thinking that this will happen. After which I can do this. You cannot take my pawn because I'll take your rook. Although you could take, and take, but that does not really look favorable. You just gave away your rook for a bishop and a quite strong pawn, which is valid, but I'll be up the exchange and a pawn. You take, I take. Um, okay, that is maybe annoying indeed. Is this a draw? Because you can attack the bishop. I have to go here. You can attack. Oh, but I can defend the bishop, which is clutch. But I have to be very careful for back rank. So I have to move here to stop you from back rank checkmating me. You can move in here. I will have to defend the bishop because if I move... Oh, that's valid. Oh, wait, maybe it's not. I can still defend the bishop. And your knight is quite useless. Okay, so now I'm posing a rook trade and I don't even see how you stop it. Maybe with this? I can move in. If you check me, I just come up and I'm safe. So you have to check. I can come here and you have to find something. Check. I can just move. Check. I can just move. And I think after check, I can move. Okay, it's looking quite risky. I cannot lie. I should have maybe found a easier solution. Yeah, so now you're checkmate treading me. I can also do something like this so that after check, that I can still not move here. So after this, if check, I can move, but I'm scared of this and then h6. And after h6, I don't know what to do. So I have to move the king, I believe. Yes, I have to. So that after check, I can move. You can just check me again. And oh, I can move downwards. And then I don't see your threat anymore because I cover d8. And you can have the f7 pawn. I don't care. You will have to try and stop me from promoting, which looks impossible. And after check here, check and move, your knight has to keep guarding your rook. So something like knight to d3 to attack my rook. Your rook is hanging, so I can just exchange rooks and promote, probably. So probably there was a easier, less complicated way of converting, which we will look for in the analysis, but yeah, I think I just move my king to safety and out of the knight checks. Because with the king here, he also had knight check or knight check, and now I stop those. If you make a pawn break, I will just stop it. Pawn break. I will probably take ones and stop it. So now I can just attack your rook. And if you take, I take, and you cannot stop the pawn, I can just move my rook. If you do this, I can push. And you don't have checks anymore, so can also do this, but then I run into this. So let's not do that. If I attack your rook, you can take. I can maybe take. No, I cannot. So, move the rook up. You'll probably do something like this. I can threaten to promote. You can even take my bishop. I can promote. You have check. I can move. And from this position, I should be safe and have a massive counterattack, which should win me the game. I could, by the way, also do this. Give away my rook just to promote. That looks valid as well. But too complicated for no reason. So I think I'll do this and just stop your knight from defending the pawn. Still cover my bishop and b6, which is huge, and my bishop covers a6 so that you cannot stop the pawn. And now I don't see what you will do. After this, I think I can just move my bishop, still blunting your knight. Yeah, so after this, your knight still cannot do anything, and your rook can also not do anything. And I cover the checks with my king, and I cover b6. You can do that. Do I defend again? Probably not. What if I do this? You don't have checks, and after takes and takes, you also don't have anything, except you can go to this, which is quite annoying. If I push, you take with a check, I have to move up. You have a check again, I have to move. That's too risky. So if I do this, you have take, take, stop the pawn. I should have enough pawns, but why? So do I just defend? And my bishop stops everything. If you do this, I can always take and take at least. And then maybe give away this pawn to mobilize my other pawns or something. I'm not sure, but can I push, take, push? No, because then you have takes. So maybe after knight here, I put my rook here. No, because of check. So you also have a threat after this. So if I move my rook up, you will take this with a check. I think after knight to a6, I have to take. If I do this, you will take, and take. Push? Ooh, wait, you are too late. So what if I do this? If you take, I can just take, and after take, I have push. And you cannot stop my pawn. So after this, if you just move, I can move as well. So this, move. I can also move, but not there. So this, move up to control c7. Yeah, I think this is the final trick I had to find. I believe. But I don't really have a threat. I mean, if you move, I can move and I'll be fine. If you do anything like this, that won't work. But I can push. Oh, you can go behind it. Okay, that's the plan. So push behind it. Defend the pawn. If I attack the knight, check comes in. Can I trade rooks, takes, push behind it? If I do this, check happens. Here, defend the pawn. Then I should be able to do something, right? So this should be fine. Go behind it. I can just defend it. If check happens, that should be fine. And then I should be able to just defend it, and promote. Mm-hmm. So if I do this, you have check, I have to move, and you just have check again. So maybe I have to guard everything, then you can attack it again. So here, check, move, check, move. Yeah, I think my king has to be brave. Check here, check here. You cannot check, but you can check. Check here, check here. And that should be it. And now I'm threatening to... Okay. I don't understand that check though. So I don't want to walk into it. So check. I have this. Yeah, I mean, king has to be brave. And after check, I can move. And after check, my bishop can block. Okay, I think probably I should have activated my king with my pawn, and I shouldn't have left my king in the corner. That's maybe my mistake. Um, so I wanted to do this to blunt it. If you give me a check, I can run. And if you give me a check, I can run again. So what am I calculating? This check, move, check, go back. Oh no, my rook is hanging. But if my but then I can promote. You cannot take my rook. Here, check, move. If you take, I promote. Yeah, I think that's it. So check, move, and you cannot take my rook. So you have to check, I'll go back, and you still cannot take my rook. Yeah, that's it. So you have to give me a check, then I can just move again, and you still cannot take my rook. But you do. Now I have a queen. Check. Only move, so let's play it. And now I should be safe. Your king is quite safe as well, which is annoying. Yeah, so now I'm up a queen for a rook and a pawn. So what if you do this? Oh, I have check because of my bishop. I also have the check with the bishop if that's more useful. I have to think what is more useful. Queen check, you have to go to one of these, and I will either take this or have a check. And then in some way or form, my bishop will be included. So yeah, check. If you move here, I have check, and I will find something there. If I can only include this bishop with a check, I am saved. So if you do this, I'll have check. You can run. Oh wait, is that annoying? Huh. Maybe. Okay, so now I have check. If you're forced here, that's annoying. So if I do this, do you have a threat? You cannot check with the knight and you cannot check with the rook. So let me just move my bishop and see what he does, because he doesn't have a threat. So let's just play slow and see what happens. So check here, I have check, which should be winning. Here, check, move, check. I'll just hunt down his king. And if I can hunt my king close to his king to my king, I should find something, especially when his pieces are not making threats. So maybe I'm threatening something here, but then you don't get checked because of my queen. So maybe I'm threatening this so that I can check. If you move in, I have check, move, check, move. Huh. So maybe after... Oh, wait, what? What if I do this? Nothing has changed, but I have more threats. Yeah, nothing changed and I have more threats, so that should be good. Oh, you can do this, but I can attack everything. And you don't get this check because it's defended with a pawn. So this here, take, knight has to move. Can I somehow I could check, and anywhere you move, I do get takes. And then your rook is hanging. It doesn't have a useful check. And this check doesn't work. So let's just give a check, take this pawn, the knight's hanging, the rook's hanging, the king is weak, and you do not have a useful check because the bishop covers a6. So really think about counterplay a lot. This is a check. You have to go here. Do I not have a mate here? Check, you have to move. Check, you have to move back and mate? Does that work? Check, right? So you cannot cross, you cannot come closer. You have to go here. Then I have check. You cannot come closer, so your only legal move is to go here. Then after bishop check, you cannot take, you cannot block, you have to go back. And then I have this discovery checkmate. Yeah, I think that works. So I could have just taken the pawn with a fork and probably win the game like that. Or I can just find a checkmate. Oh, I can even take the pawn with a check and take the rook. So take with a check, you block. But finding the checkmate is fancier, right? So check, only legal move, check. And you cannot cross, so you have to go back, and then this is just mate. Yeah, so there's no need to take the pawn if you're sure of your mate. Make your puzzles. So only legal move, check. You have to go, and this is checkmate. Right. Don't resign. Let me get the checkmate, please. Here, check. Here, mate. You have one legal move. What are you thinking about? Just make the legal move and try. Yes. So, check. And your only legal move because of this pawn is to go here, and that's me. Okay. Shout out to my opponent for letting me checkmate him. So let's go to the analysis. I think I made some mistakes. This will be 86, I believe. I think it's 86, 82%. A mistake, oof. Okay, this was quite a bad game. Oh, you can see that. It is 3 great moves, 4 book moves, 23 best moves, 10 excellent moves, 10 good moves, 6 inaccuracies, 2 mistakes, and 1 big mistake. So we are in the Carcom. After takes and takes and night out, we pin. Yeah, develop the knights first. I will have done an opening analysis, so I will go rather quickly. This is the best move. This is all good. That's a book move again in the middle of the game. Okay, fine. This is weird, and I should trade. I was scared of this, but then I just castle. Castle, take. Take back, and you cannot take because of take. Okay. Damn, okay, so my pawn's hanging, but your bishop's hanging, and if you take, I can take. Yeah, fair, fair, fair. But I mean, I'll have done an opening analysis, so this is fine. The engine wants to take, but then you just take with the other knight, so I don't understand. Here I'm just worse if he plays this. What was I calculating here? What did I calculate here? This is probably my only course of action or something. Oh yeah, obviously I have to go here to not get into the scope of the bishop. Then after takes, takes, and something like knight takes. Attack the bishop. go here, attack the bishop again, go back, and you just move the knight and you control the c5 square, and that's exactly what I messed up in the previous video. And after this, you take my weakness, which isn't the worst thing in the world. And after take, and take... Oh, if I attack the knight, you can jump in defending it. And I just cannot develop. Damn. Um, I mean, I would really wish to develop some pieces. You can try this. I can just move, I believe, to have some more defense. Is this bad? Take, and I'm out of the woods? No? And I can defend? Okay, the engine thinks this is a +3 position, but honestly, I'm only down a pawn, and I mean, I have a lot of counterplay after I make a pawn break. So I don't know, it's bad, but I don't know why the engine says -3, but I mean, fine. So that was bad. I should have known my openings better. All chess teachers will just tell you to not memorize openings. I don't tell you that bad advice. So after all of this, I just play the pawn move, which we learned in the previous video. If you have a weakness, just instantly trade it off. If I didn't trade it off, I would have to defend it. If I defend it, this is bad. You can attack, go here, attack it again, go here, and then a move like b4 indeed. It's the best move unless you play it, classic. And now this is a big issue and you have a lot of pressure. I have to propose a knight trade, and I'm very lucky that he played c3 and he cannot defend his knight with a knight. Let's say, for example, this didn't blunder a knight, right? And after takes and knight takes, now he has this outpost and this tremendous pressure. And I'm very lucky I can attack the knight so that it cannot live on e5. Let's say I make another positional blunder of f5, making this an outpost, I'm dead. I'm dead. And even after take and take, leaving him with an isolated pawn, which is another bad decision, this knight is incredible. And I really want to show you something interesting. His outpost is on a dark square, right? So let's say we just trade dark squared bishops. You will see that this skyrockets. I mean, 1.1, fair. So this is now a dark squared outpost, and he traded dark squared bishops, which makes this way more difficult to remove. I also fixed his structure, so even if I can take this, that just doesn't matter at all. This is way too strong. If I make a pawn break, you can reinforce it. If I take and take, you will have the open file, which can pressure my weakness. If I try to pressure your weaknesses, you can just defend. You can just reinforce this pawn. This is a losing game. Like, this is very easy to win for white. So if you have an outpost, trade that color of bishops. If you have a weakness, instantly trade it off. And if your opponent has a weakness, freeze it. So here I have to find c5 in my opinion, which I did because of the previous video. You kick my bishop, I go back, and you return your knight, which I thought was a pretty weird move. I can just develop, you can now castle, and I castle. You attack the bishop, and going here with a tempo, you move, and then I don't know really what I'm doing. You move the king up, which I thought was a bad move. You're running into the spin and stuff, and I move the knight forwards with a threat, which is bad. The engine wants me to take, and I was scared of knight takes, and then I just develop, and I don't see why this is so much better. I can't really do this. Why is this so much better? You improve your knights, and I have to find bishop to d8. Am I trying to trade bishops? What am I trying with this move? Yeah, let's say you develop. I make a pawn break. You can reinforce it. Now my knight has to go back, but it has... Oh, no, I'm not preparing this because of the rook. So you can just develop. I now have to push this pawn. I still don't understand why. You can improve your rook, stopping my infiltration, and I have to put my bishop on h7. Yeah, okay. I don't understand these moves. Maybe this tries to kick your bishop, but the bishop can just hide. So, I mean, I don't understand this move. I don't understand this move. I almost understand this move, but I don't understand h4, and I don't understand bishop h7. And all of my opponent moves makes a lot of sense. I still have to do this, even though it doesn't come with a tempo. You have to double up on a closed file, which doesn't make sense. And now I can go to this weakness, but you can just trade it off. So maybe I do want to trade bishops. Now this would make a lot of sense, but we don't do that. No, okay, I just don't understand. This position is way better for us, but the moves just don't make any sense at all, ever. So I went back, you moved into a pin. This was bad, but that's a mistake. And now you see why. We always move in with a threat. So we have the threat of taking this, but it's only a threat if you have to take with the pawn, because that's a positional weakness, which is frozen, which is fantastic for us. So take, you cannot take with the pawn. So after take, you have to take with the knight, but then the knight is only defended with the bishop, and this is hanging. So this knight has to defend the knight, has to defend this pawn, and have to defend the d4 pawn. And that's why we're constantly posing threats and threats and threats. If we take, you take with the knight, we win a pawn and we create a weakness. So if after take, you have to take with this, and now this is attacked and this is attacked. So we can just take, you have to take with the pawn or lose this. And that's exactly what we do. We take this knight, because if we take this first, you can apparently just take, and this is bad because of take with a check. This is... Oh, you can move with a threat. So here we have to go back, and does this trap our... No, right? We have to sack a pawn to win a pawn, and now we have a positional weakness. And what if we do this? Oh, we still... Okay, so what if we do this? Take, and now... Is that bad? Oh, we also sack the pawn. Okay, so we have to give back the pawn, or he will just trap our bishop. Can we not stop that at all? Apparently we can't. What we can do... Oh no, we cannot do this. I thought we could just stop the king from attacking the bishop, but you can attack it with a rook and you can take it, so... Apparently that's quite a good line for him, because he can try to trap our bishop, but we have to give back the pawn. So after take and take, which is good, we take. He takes back with the pawn, because after take and take, you have to try and trap our bishop, and we have to give back the pawn. So this doesn't work. This doesn't work because you go back with a fork. Okay. So we have to pin. You can now just... What if you trap this right now? Oh, we can take. That's a good line for us. So you have to do this. We can now... Why does this not work? Do you just sack the rook? Is that it? take, take, take. Yes. And even after take and take, you won 2 pieces for a rook, and we have a horrific structure. So that's probably even winning for white. Oh, you can always sack the rook. That's depressing. So after this, what if I take? You have to take, and then we do this? Attack us, and then after... Yeah, after take, you always have some takes. Oh, and even take, 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 and you have takes, and now this is a fork, so we again have to give back the rook, and the best move is just to counterattack. And after you defend, we can only defend one of these, and after this, you take, we take, and you can probably just take. Why not? Is our infiltration too good? Oh yes, our infiltration is just too strong. Yeah, and you will have to give up this. If you defend this, you will probably get mated. Yeah, in 7 moves, but it's quite findable. Check. If you move here, check is very obvious. You have to go here. And now, why give this check? Does that not just repeat the position? Oh no, because now we have check. Oh yeah, okay. Damn, okay. Yeah, it's findable with some time. Damn, this is so complicated. But I mean, our opponent did blunder and just take, 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 and took with the pawn instead of the knight because we both didn't see that this g5 idea is strong. So now I can just activate a piece. Apparently doing this is better. I thought it was hope chess because after this you can just push the pawn. G5. No, I would never play that. I would just go for this. Then you have to give up the pawn. What if you... What? What is happening? I mean, that does make sense. Oh, I'm just trying to break this open. And now you have to sack the rook to save your knight. What if you keep it closed at the cost of a pawn? Oh, we take like this and have that threat, so you again have to sacrifice. Yeah, the pin is too strong. I didn't see that. So if you see that, the pin is incredibly strong and we have a lot of tactical opportunities. It does make a lot of sense to do this, and it is not hope chess. But I didn't see the threat, so in my opinion, it's hope chess. So you just developed like that, and we have to find the spin again, because after this, I thought that something like this, but then probably, yeah, the pawn break is too strong. Because we will open up everything, and after you sack, we take, and now we can maybe even do something slow like this, and you cannot get out. So after this, is king here? Yes, and now we're just threatening to do... Yeah, this very slow maneuver, and if you defend, we probably rook lift, and this is a big threat. And you cannot stop it. What if you just run out? Bishop check. King has to move. What if it moves here? Is that mate? Oh, that's mate. Damn. And if you move here, you kick the rook. Has to go back. Oh, and that's hanging. Oh, damn. So you have to step into the pin. We can attack the rook, which has to leave, and then make this pawn break. You cannot take because of takes, and if you take back, the knight is now hanging. So... And by the way, after take, we also have takes because of the pin. The king will have to move and the knight is hanging too. So you have to just do whatever this is. Now we can attack the knight or even take and go here, but probably you want to sack the rook, yes. Take, take, take. Give a check. King has to move. And now we just save the bishop with a threat. You have to defend again. That's making a repetition. Why is the engine making a repetition? Now attack the knight. Again, moving with a threat. You have to go back. Now we can do this, but what if he repeats again? Oh, now we can push 2 pawns. Yeah, okay, that's solid. Yeah, okay, I didn't see that thread. That is incredibly complicated, but very beautiful, to be fair. So I thought that was hope chess, so I just improved my position. Now I saw the threat. You defend. This is the best move, and after the best move, take, infiltration. I win a pawn, you have this complication, that's the best move. This is an inaccuracy. So I have to push the pawn and not be scared of this because I can just take the pawn. How did I not see that? My camera's too big. Yeah, okay, I should have seen that I can just take the pawn. So that's not even a threat, and I already just push the pawn, do this, make a very solid structure, and be just happy. That's sad. So this is an inaccuracy. That's quite bad. This is the best move. That's the best move. This is fine. Taking is the inaccuracy. Oh, that's even losing. That's funny. So, I mean, I should not take the pawn, but if I don't take the pawn and do something like this, he gets counterplay, which I don't want to grant him. Although, yeah, this is just over. No, maybe not. Kick the knight. It can just jump in. Get the king to defend. You can attack. I can move up. You can improve the king and I can never... What if I do this to push? I mean, it doesn't even change anything. I don't defend this more. So now I have to find this pawn break, which is very weird. Can I sack my king? Wow, sack the king. GG. Sack the rook. Does take not work? Takes and this? Check. Move. Is a blunder. Mate in tree. I can literally promote and I'm checkmated. Damn. Damn. Okay. Um, very complicated. So I did find a quite good thing, but I didn't think long enough about this. But to be fair, I think that's practically the best move. Allowing the passed pawn is weird, but that's a mistake. I should... What if I do this? I give away that, so that doesn't make sense. I should maybe push the king. That's also a mistake. I mean, to be fair, what do you do? This is also a mistake. That's even a blunder. Oh yeah, because of the spin, obviously. So I'm still pinned. What if I unpin? Give away a pawn. Oh, I'm also losing. So what if I do this instead? Is that still losing? That's the best move. So after take, take, I just move, which is bad. This? Note. Oh, you can take because of the back rank. That's disgusting. So why is this the best move? Let's see. Well, so obviously, I don't know. Is that obvious? Takes. Yeah, so you win a pawn. Then I have to fix my back rank issues. You can still threaten them, and now I can move because this is not a threat anymore. And now I push the pawn and it's not stoppable though. Wait, what? Take, move the king and you can go back. Ew, and now it's a draw if you play it perfectly. Shoot. So after all of this, I have to Oh yeah, I have to move my king now, so that after this, I can take, and if I do this, I get into the same position, but I can take, go here, defend it with a check. You probably attack my rook. I have to attack. And now with take, I have take, and now I'm up 2 pawns. After this, I probably, I would give a check, I believe, so that I can push my passed pawns. Apparently, I have to make this pawn break. What if I just check? That's already a mistake. And now do this with a check? That's a blunder. Yeah, okay, I don't know if I win this. To be fair, rook and games are very difficult, so I guess that's winning, but against an engine, I will probably still lose. So that's a great move. This is an inaccuracy. You move in. I guess if I do this, I get into the same position instantly, and then I just defend and we transpose. So this is a mistake. You should have gone here. But what happens if I... Oh, back rank checkmate. So I have to fix back rank checkmate. So this, and if I fix back rank checkmate, you can still back rank checkmate me. So I have to go here, and then probably some check and here happens, and you don't have a check. So I'm quite okay with this, I believe. Yeah, I don't know. Apparently that's a mistake, but fine. So here, mistake here. That is losing. If you go here, I go here. Check, I run. Oh, that's a fork. Oh, my bishop's not defended. And I miss a move. And after check, move takes. Yeah, and if I do this, you just attack the pawn and it's over. You can take this. Oh yeah, I'm just too slow. Now you go behind it. Shoot! I was losing. That's disgusting. But my opponent didn't find it, luckily enough, and now I can defend. You now go here, but I can defend now, and because of you shuffling once, I got this very clutch move. So my opponent should have thought a bit longer and think about rook to b6, but he has rook to b2, and then I have to play rook to d6. So if I play rook to d6, we transpose, except of his rook not being on b2, which is absolutely clutch. So if my opponent spent a little bit more time of his 12 minutes, I actually lose. So I think I should have lost the game, to be fair. And after this shuffle, you have some threats, and now I think king has to be brave. And after this, that's a great move. I calculated all of this, and that's the best move. My king has to be brave. If I don't push my king with it, it's over. Now this is the best move. That's a tactic, but you cannot take the rook. But you have to, and after this check, I can run. And that's the best move. So he is threatening to take this. I have to move, and after take and take, I'm down a piece for a pawn. But I can move the queen out of this tactic with a check and defend my bishop. And now, yeah, this is a way better position. And yeah, we find a checkmate in 4, which is absolutely beautiful. And that's it. So I hope you learned a lot. Maybe not the best game out of me, but there's a lot to learn. I hope you enjoyed. Subscribe if you did, and I'll see you in the next one.